Well, the power couple seems to be breaking up. Trump and Elon are no longer getting along. They're not big friends anymore, and they've been taking jabs at each other. They've had a falling out, and it's been very public over the last couple of days. Elon tweeting, Trump posting on Truth Social, whatever, them kind of responding through screenshots of each other. So it's been kind of funny. And to where this all started out with one simple tweet from Elon saying, I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. So he was once infatuated with Donald Trump, and you know was all about Donald Trump to the point where he put out a tweet like this, 113 million views on it, and he basically had a falling out. Some of the stuff is from the Doge stuff, him kind of getting pushed out of there. There's people saying that he had to take a step back from the Doge things because of things like Tesla, where the company was not doing amazing, right? They were having kind of poor results this year to date, down 22%, with the S&P I think is like flat or slightly up. So that's not a good thing. They had deliveries that they were missing. They had one of their like worst quarters ever, and since like the very beginning of the company in the recent reports. So it was just not good. Tesla was not doing too great. So people saying he might have stepped back to focus on that, which could be fair enough. But he went on Twitter to tweet storm about a bunch of things that he didn't like, and one of those things being the big beautiful bill. Apparently, just like a couple months ago, he was like a big guy for this, a big supporter of the big beautiful bill, and now all of a sudden he's not anymore. Had a falling out. Him saying, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. The massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know what you did wrong. You know it. So him kind of coming out here saying the bill is terrible. And honestly, I haven't dug into the bill. I don't really care. I'm just kind of seeing all this stuff pop off. A bunch of drama brings more eyes to it. But from what I've understand is it's a spending bill. Basically, it's basically spending trillions of dollars. I think it's like $2.4 trillion over 10 years would be added to the debt or something. So no cut in spending, no awareness of the deficit, no care in the world, even though a bunch of the running points were get the debt under control, get the deficit under control, stop spending outrageously. And that was never part of the plan. Honestly, that's just never going to be part of a plan. At this point, it's nothing can be cut that will actually make a difference, because the things that should be up for cuts that would make a difference in the numbers are things no one would be comfortable doing. It's like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the military. Those are the things that you would have to make cuts to actually substantially bring down the deficit and actually make an impact. And no one will ever touch those because it would be so extremely unpopular that they might not even get reelected. So obviously those are off the table. And Elon Musk comes here saying, slim, beautiful bill for the win, because he had another tweet talking about you don't get a big, beautiful bill. You can't have that. You either have a big, ugly bill or a slim, beautiful bill. And this is where he gets this from. Honestly, pulling a bunch of these tweets, he's been on a tweeting storm. So, finding these things can be difficult. But another thing he had going on is the truth bomb that he set on Donald Trump, apparently saying that the time to drop the really big bomb is Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So he's basically taking the Kendrick route in their Drake Kendrick beef and coming out and saying Trump's a pedophile. So it's the two big personalities that people could get behind fighting, hating each other. And honestly, I don't know what people are going to do, because it's a lot of people look at this and they are kind of NPCs and just kind of say, oh, I like Trump, I like Elon, they're great. And now that they're feuding, which side do they pick? That's going to be really funny. But Trump basically had kind of a back and forth with Elon. I think I have those tweets somewhere here, but he had something like a video here. He talks about being very disappointed with Elon. He took kind of a jab at him for Elon having a black eye during a press conference they did in the Oval Office, and there's a conspiracy to that. He got into an altercation with Secretary of the Treasury or something like that. He got into an altercation with that and actually got hit and got a black eye. I think they said it was his kid. It's a whole ordeal, but Trump brought it up as a little bit of a jab to him. And, these guys, it's just going back and forth. Trump's taking a little jab, saying some stuff here. He talked about EV credits, and then Elon drops this bomb. And this is one of those things that Trump kind of took a jab at him for. He put on Truth Social here, saying Elon was wearing thin. He asked him to leave, took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. So Trump kind of saying, oh, Elon, we had to ask him to leave because things were, he was going crazy. We wanted to take away the EV credits because there are the subsidies to cut spending, and he didn't like that because it impacts his business. Even though I'll give it to Elon, he's pretty much been against, these subsidies and tax credits for a long time. Things like 2021, he's got an interview talking about get rid of the subsidies. But also on the flip side, like Tesla was built on these subsidies. So the reason Tesla's here is because they took advantage of those subsidies and government money. And basically kind of pulling the ladder up now, saying get rid of them, is kind of like saying, don't allow other competition, because Tesla wouldn't really be here without those, and other car companies or electric car companies that might be starting might not get the opportunity to compete against Tesla if you pull the ladder up and say get rid of the subsidies. So there's a bit of a little bit there where people would look at that and say, oh, Elon, he's against getting rid of this to cut the spending because he's so great businessman, but also on the flip side, like, could be pulling the ladder up. And then you get people like this, Ian Miles Chong, I think that's how you would say it. He's like the biggest Elon glazer. He loves to have Elon in his mouth. And he quoted or screenshot of the tweets of him talking about basically calling Trump a pedophile, and then said, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon, and Trump should be impeached by J.D. Vance to replace him. Elon says yes to this. But, like, it's so funny seeing people like this, because if Elon comes back in a couple weeks and says Trump's actually doing a great job and things are great, this guy will flip and say, I knew Trump was the greatest president in the world. So he doesn't even think for himself. He just does whatever Elon's doing and agrees with it 100%. But I feel like that's the void we might be going into, is people who are going to split and be on Elon's side, and there's people on Trump's side. And I mean, I think that's just how it's going to be. And it's actually kind of annoying to see this type of stuff happen, or people be like this, because why can't we just make up our own mind? Do a little bit of thinking for yourself and just make up your own mind and make your own decisions. I don't know why that's so hard. And then since I saved a bunch of these tweet links to come back to, this one was actually deleted. And I was wondering what was I missing? What link was here that I don't remember seeing? And it turns out it was this one where Elon Musk said he was going to decommission the spacecraft after Trump threatened to cancel their contract. So Trump kind of he had a tweet saying he was going to cancel all these government contracts with Musk, and Elon said, you know what, then SpaceX will pull out and we'll just decommission everything, we'll stop doing work, which is a big problem because the government doesn't do anything in space, like nothing with spaceships or rocket ships or anything. They just pay SpaceX to do it, really. So if the SpaceX stops, then they don't have shuttle to like the space station. They don't have anything to get back and forth. It basically shuts down like the space program. So this was considered like a nuclear move from Elon, and the government really can't afford to do it. But it's interesting to see that it got deleted. Maybe he's patching that one up and not completely nuking his government contracts, or Trump reached out or the government did or something happened, because this got deleted, and they're probably still going to have those contracts with SpaceX because realistically there's just not another option. And also Elon goes into talk about how without him Trump would have lost the election, and then Dems would control the House and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate, and has such ingratitude. And he might be right. Like, Trump winning the election, I don't know if it really, like, obviously Elon had a huge mark in that by buying Twitter and kind of allowing people to just talk and bringing back voices, even though people disagreed with it or was unpopular. Like, he just allowed people to kind of talk, and it brought a lot of things kind of back. It kind of like swung the pendulum back in one direction. So, is he the sole cause Trump won? I don't know, but he definitely helped. Had he not done any of this, would Trump have won? Maybe. It's tough to call, but I think there's still a shot Trump wins. But obviously, what Elon did in on Twitter and all of the kind of campaigning he did definitely helped and pushed him over the line at a minimum. And then you finish it off talking about the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year, kind of going after the tariffs. So, Elon and Trump not getting along. These guys, once best buddies, no longer seems to be the case. These guys had a falling out. A lot of stuff going back and forth, jabs at each other, and Musk dropping like the big bomb of basically calling Trump a pedophile. So we'll see, how it all goes down. If they patch things up and start working together again, or kind of just quietly go their separate ways after this, or continue beefing. Maybe they continue fighting and tweets go back and forth for the next 4 years. And there's just going to be great entertainment out of that at the bare minimum. But yeah, seems like the end of the Musk-Trump combination, the best buds there. But yeah, seems like the end of Trump and Musk. These best buds no longer happy with each other, taking jabs, and basically, I doubt that we're going to see them back together. And Doge is probably going to cease to exist after this stuff going down, even though I think Musk stepped away already. So it was never going to do anything to begin with. Doge was never going to cut anything substantial and make, enough cuts to actually make an impact. But it was just kind of there as the smoke and mirrors for this spending package, really. That's what I would think. But let's see how this plays out. Maybe we got some more drama entertainment coming our ways. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next